is an irony that as Philippines remembers with pain the 50th anniversary of martial law under the late dictator Ferdinand Marcos, his son Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. is held at the top position in the country, having won the presidential polls handsomely.
Itong kasaysayan, no, ng martial law ay tumimo na sa puso ko yan. Kasi nakita ko kung paano dinahas, lalo na noong ako ay nasa kabataan pa, kung paano dinadahas yung mga kabataang mag-aaral na nanguna upang imulat ang sambayanan sa kabulukan na nagaganap nung kapanahunan ng rehimeng Ferdinand Edralin Marcos Sr. Totoo yan. Ako ay naging bahagi ng mga kabataan na yan. At ako'y nakatikim ng kalupitan ng mga militar at pulis nung kapanahunan na yon.
Human rights organization Amnesty estimates tens of thousands were killed, tortured, and imprisoned after Marcos imposed martial law on 21st of September 1972. However, full-scale attempts are on to discredit the reports about this brutal period. In the run-up to 50th anniversary of the start of martial law, pro-Marcos posts have flooded Facebook and TikTok with false and misleading claims that cast doubt on Amnesty's findings and downplay the abuses. A group of small but determined people is making efforts to preserve accounts of the atrocities committed during Marcos' term. Project Gunita, the Tagalog word for memory, is a band of less than 30 young volunteers to digitize more archives about Marcos Sr.'s two-decade rule and make these more accessible on social media and debunking constant pro-Marcos misinformation.
So it was actually the day after the election results came out, or the preliminary election results came out, and Carl and I, my co-founder, Carl, we're talking in private message saying that, okay, we need to do something about the rampant disinformation that came out, that reared its head during elections.
However, everyone agreed that true scale of the abuses may never be known given the immensity and pervasiveness of violations during that time.
It's important that we don't forget what happened during martial law, because the people who have committed the crimes against the Filipino people have not yet been given justice. The families who have lost their loved ones, who have been disappeared, who have been tortured and killed during martial law, have not yet been given peace, because the Marcoses are, as we can see, back in power and once again plundering the resources of our nation. And we cannot allow this. I'm afraid that people will really will not remember the stories, the lives of the activists that came before us, and maybe even our struggles themselves, because of the disinformation that is happening right now. We have seen it work its magic, if you can say that, during the last elections.
Amnesty published their findings in 1976 with their conclusion that torture was used freely and with extreme cruelty, often over long periods. The Marcos government denied this and said Amnesty's report was based on fabrications, biased, and without factual foundations.
This is the primary collection of the Human Rights Violation Victims Memorial Commission. In this room are 11,103 resolutions, dockets, affidavits of the victims recognized by the Philippine government as being victims of the Marcos martial law era from 1972 to 1986, and provided 10 billion pesos in reparations. That money came from recovered ill-gotten wealth that was stashed in Swiss banks.
Senior Marcos, father of current Philippine president, had accused Amnesty of relying on hearsay for their findings and falsely claimed the rights group never visited the country. Marcos Jr. earlier this year said he had not seen Amnesty's figures and did not know how they were generated.
We just bought a scanner and then started scanning. He started out scanning his personal collection because Carl actually has a wide collection of martial law documents and books. And then after that, we started raising funds as well for buying more documents like these ones here. That's why it's so important for us to preserve these documents, because this is where the stories are told. These are the stories that were told during the period that people are forcing to erase.
But last week he acknowledged there had been abuses under martial law, like in any war. Martial law had been necessary to defend the country against communist and Muslim insurgencies, he told a local celebrity talk show host.
I have this small optimism that would he have the generosity to say, or a magnanimous gesture to say, on September 21, on the 50th day marking the declaration of martial law, would he be able to say, oh, the sins of my father are not my own. But this one I can promise the Filipino people, no gross human rights violation will happen under my watch. Would that be sufficient? For those moving forward, that's a very great statement.
Under legislation signed in 2013 by former President Aquino, more than 11,000 victims of torture, killings, enforced disappearances, and other abuses have been officially recognized and compensated.
Ang martial law ay isang pangyayari sa buhay ng mamamayan na pinigilan yung kanyang karapatan, yung binusalan yung kanyang boses, at may mga pangyayari na ang sambayanan ay nakontrol ng pamahalaan na retigate ng martial rule. So hindi dapat kalimutan yun, sapagkat sa kasaysayan dapat ay meron tayong aral na natututunan. Sa kasaysayan kasi ay hindi lamang ito lumipas, kung hindi dapat ito ay magsilbing inspirasyon sa atin na huwag nang maulit yung malagim na bahagi ng kasaysayan.